from 10 cents to a high of 189 cents in just 4 years. That's a CAGR of 108% per annum for the prices of cotton in America. But the question is, how? Hey folks, this is Komal from the Small Case team, and in this series called What's in the Chart, we'll decode some of the most interesting charts from the past. In our first episode, we explore the story behind cotton's rise to white gold status. The period between 1860 and 1865 was quite interesting in the history of the Indian stock market and a lesson on globalization with various famines and inventions. India saw its first stock market crash during this period even before an official stock exchange was established here. Yes, before the Bombay Stock Exchange or the BSE was established in 1875, many rich Gujaratis and Parsis engaged in trading shares unofficially by meeting at an adda. Here they used to talk about investments, trends, and all the chatter of a close-knit trading community. Now let's take a few steps back and discuss the root of the rising cotton demand and its prices: the American Civil War. The war kicked off in 1861 between the industrial North, aka the Union, and the agricultural South, aka the Confederacy. The Confederacy used to supply nearly 75% of its cotton to Britain. Abraham Lincoln, the then President of America, took advantage of this information and introduced the Union Blockade, which prohibited them from trading with any part of the world. This move caused a drastic reduction of exports from the southern states in the USA, which led to the Lancashire cotton famine in England and increased market speculations. The cotton prices in England skyrocketed, jumping from over 7 pence in 1861 to over 31 pence by July 1864. Of course, Britain wouldn't stop its business because of the Union Blockade, and to fulfill its cotton demand, they turned to India. Remember, by the time all this was happening, India was already under the British rule. So, to meet Britain's cotton demands, the then Governor General of India declared that the Government of India would do all within its legitimate power to facilitate an immediate increase in cotton production in the three presidencies of Bombay, Bengal, and Madras. In line with this resolution, the Government of India by the end of 1861 had appropriated 9 lakh rupees to improve cotton roads throughout the country. India's cotton cultivation was greatly extended because of various governmental aids and rapid price increases. So much so that it doubled in the Bombay Presidency and increased by 80% in the northwestern province. Lancashire, the hub of cotton mills in England, could not supply the same amount of cloth before the outbreak of the war. This cloth famine encouraged the Indian mills to increase production, making India as the first serious competitor to Lancashire. With cotton's high demand and rising prices, people started calling it the white gold. They also began to remove cotton from their mattresses and pillows to sell it and earn money. Potentially, this was the time when coir mattresses were invented in India. By 1864, India contributed nearly 67% of the cotton imports to Great Britain. More cotton exports meant more money, which in turn meant people wanted to invest it. So, where did people put their money? Some of the population bought Victorian silver coins, eventually leading to a silver famine, giving birth to paper notes in Britain, and the other half invested in the stock market. Initially, in that era of the stock market, the number of investors was much higher than the number of companies to invest in. Demand was more than supply, and the initial investors made good money. To give you context on the extent of price and valuation surge, shares of the Back Bay Reclamation touched 50,000 rupees and those of Bank of Bombay touched a little above 2,800 rupees. People started bragging about their high returns, which attracted more and more people to start investing in companies that raised demand and yielded profit. Naturally, seeing the money and investors in the market, a new company came forward every day to sell its shares, which is what we call the IPO boom in today's term. And here comes the burst of the bubble. What started with the Civil War also ended with it. Rumors of peace in England saw the price plummet just 3 months after the high to 22 pence. And by the time peace was declared, it had fallen to 14 pence. Fortunes had been made and lost with remarkable speed. Over 100 Liverpool cotton firms and 2 banks went out of business in England. In India, people with influence in the unofficial stock market or Adda predicted that the war would go on. But to their surprise, it lasted until 1865. The end of the war meant the end of the Union blockade imposed on South America. And now they could start exporting cotton to the British again. As the news spread, many people panicked and started taking their money back from the stock market, eventually leading to India's first market crash. The impact of the crash could be seen with the shares of the Back Bay Reclamation going under 2,000 rupees and those of Bank of Bombay touching as low as 87 rupees. So, what do you think? When it comes to investing, do you follow your instincts or the crowd? Let us know in the comments. That's all for today's episode. And if you like this story, don't forget to share it with your friends who you think will like it too. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to learn more about what's in the chart.